Let me know when you're ready to, have a child. I would recommend surgery before you have the child. What are fibroids? It's a benign tumor and it's gonna grow somewhere around your reproductive system. That's it. That's a very vague answer. Okay, fine. Here's what fibroids are. Most women, if they're going to experience fibroids, they will start to see signs and symptoms, or they to their attention during their childbearing years, meaning that basically from the time that you're allowed to have like a regular period up until menopause, you could be having signs and symptoms related to fibroids. Now, it is a growth and it is labeled as a tumor, meaning that it's a growth, but it's non-cancerous. No cancer. But that doesn't make it any easier to deal with. I feel you. You're right. It's actually whack. It grows in, out, and around the uterus. And one of the biggest ways that women are familiar with fibroids in their body is because they start to have changes in their menstrual cycle. Meaning that their periods can either be super heavy, super painful, both, or even possibly irregular. Now, one of the biggest concerns I know for women when they have fibroids is, can I get pregnant? Will I be able to get pregnant? How's this going to affect my fertility? Let me tell you, because I've been there. Let me tell you, one day, right, I go to the OBGYN and I'm there for my annual pap smear, y'all. An annual pap smear, quick check, boop, boop, boop. And the lady all of a sudden, she's like, I'm going to send you for an ultrasound. And I looked at her and I was like, why? She's like, I think I feel something. So now, you guys know that time between the delivery of like not so good news to the time of now, you're getting the testing and everything, whether it's 1 minute, 30 seconds, 10 days, 1 month, it feels like a lifetime. I got the ultrasound the same day. I got the sonogram the same day. But the time between her telling me what she told me and me getting that ultrasound, I said, what could she have possibly felt? What could she have possibly felt? The time that I was waiting felt like a lifetime. So now I get the ultrasound and the sonographer is like, you don't have any pain? How are your periods? Because now all of a sudden she can interview me as well. So now she's asking me all these questions, which is fine. Then she finishes and she's like, okay, the doctor will be with you. And I'm just like, tell me what it is. Tell me what it is. So now they come back and they're like, well, you actually have fibroids. Let me know when you're ready to, have a child. I would recommend surgery before you have the child. And I was like, what? So basically, I don't even get a chance, is what you're telling me. I don't even get a chance to like do things the natural way. But instead, I just have to be like super invasive. For those of you who don't know, if you have had an open myomectomy, meaning that they open you up, not doing like little holes across your belly, but if they open you up and go in and manually remove these fibroids, your chances at having a vaginal delivery diminish drastically. And so it just becomes like a chain ball reaction of one surgery to the next surgery to the next surgery. And she told me that and my mind was racing. I said, like, I just came in for a routine pap smear and this is the news that you're giving me. Listen, y'all, at the time I didn't have a man, period. So there was nothing happening, but I was still like, you are basically trying to shatter whatever like types of plans I already had. There's nothing that you cannot do without the grace of God. I remember how I just went on a whirlwind of like, what would my adulthood per se look like? What would that part look like for me? Like, it ended up being so emotional for me because it was just like feeling like, you know, almost as if your body was already giving you a run for your own money. And I remember telling myself that I was going to be okay, regardless of everything, whether I needed to have this myomectomy or not. I was going to be okay, and I was going to bear fruit, and I was going to go forth and multiply. And that's really my manifestation for you, for anyone who's listening today and who may find themselves in shoes that were similar to mine. Don't worry, because the Lord said you will, and so you will, okay? You will go forth, and you will bear fruit, and you will be fruitful. And so don't be intimidated by doctors' reports. And I know people say that all the time. It can feel very cliche. I am a nurse practitioner in OBGYN, and I had to separate myself from the medical and say, for he knows the thoughts and the plans that he has concerning me. And in that moment, I had to reassure myself that it was going to be okay, not to worry. And so I chose not to worry, and I did nothing. No myomectomy, no nothing. Now, let me give you a little bit more context since we are friends. My fibroids weren't like 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter. They were more like 6 centimeters and 8 centimeters, like grapefruit and bigger grapefruit. That's a lot. But the one thing that you can do, the one service that you can do for yourself, is to advocate for yourself. And sometimes advocation doesn't have to mean you're yelling, but it could mean that you are silent and you do nothing and you be still and you trust in the Lord. And so that is what I ended up doing. And it brought to light for me, and it brought to the forefront for me that it is so important to relax, but to also be informed. And that's why I keep saying, just because you have fibroids, not to downgrade the fact that there are benign growths happening inside of your body, but more so to tell you that it doesn't define you. It does not have to define you. There's so much more to having fibroids than just the title of a fibroid or title of fibroids, but more so, I need to know the nitty gritty. I need to know the details. I need you to tell me more. I need you to tell me more. And so I need that for each and every person listening to me and this video right now. I need you to know that there is so much more. And I would like you to familiarize yourself with what is a fibroid. And if you know exactly what is a fibroid, your mind may be at more peace, because your fibroid might not even be in the vicinity of affecting your ability to bear a child or carry a child to term. If you know more about fibroids, then you'll understand what it is that you need to be concerned about when you are pregnant. I said it. When you are pregnant. Can I get an amen? When you are pregnant. And you would also know how to manage yourself accordingly as you go through your pregnancy. Rather than maybe being free or carefree about things, you might be a little bit more vigilant to say, you know I have a fibroid. Let me be sure to do X, Y, and Z. So I hope that that motivates somebody, and I hope that that encourages somebody. This is not something that I want any mama to be afraid of, right? Because you and your body are made for a purpose and a reason. And one of those purposes is to bear fruit, is to get pregnant, is to have a child. And sometimes we may hear opposing or conflicting information, but you have to know things within your heart so that you're not easily shaken, so that you're not easily moved, so that you're not easily stirred. And I believe that by the grace of God, you will get all the way through. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little rant, my little TED talk. I hope you guys enjoyed my talk. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please go ahead and smash that like button, just so that I know that I'm giving you what you want. And I'll see you next week for the next video. Bye, guys.